Is it just me, or does it look like we're headed towards another real estate market crash? In today's video, we're gonna dive deep into what's happening in today's real estate market and why I think you need to buy now. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. I am your host, Leo Landaverde, commercial lender and real estate investor, helping you increase your wealth. Even though the real estate market is acting a bit crazy right now, this is as good a time as ever for you to invest in real estate. Why? Because there's nothing better than real estate for you to increase your wealth. So if you're interested in learning how to purchase real estate right and potentially cash flow right away, then subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit the bell and you'll be notified every Thursday when a new video comes out. Let's face it, real estate prices are ridiculously high in some places and they continue to climb. It doesn't matter where you live in the US, they seem to be going higher. Here are the 5 contributing factors to what I'm calling the perfect storm as to why real estate prices are where they are today and where they're headed for the next 5 years and why you need to buy today. So there's a lot of stuff I want to show you, but let's hop over to my computer. Let me show you what that looks like.
Hey, so here are the 5 reasons why I think real estate prices will continue to climb over the next 5 years and why you cannot wait. You need to buy now. Number 1, record low inventory. What we're looking at right now is a market summary, as it says here from Realtor.com, as of April 2021. So this is the latest report from all data sources in the United States, taking all the median list prices. It says that average is 375,000. So if you take all the homes that are listed for sale from California to New York and everything in between, they were up 17% year over year. That's a 17% increase, and the average home is selling right now, being listed at 375,000. Look at the days on the market. There's a 31% year over year decrease. So right now it's taking 43 days for the property to be basically sold. So I don't want you to look at just on the number of days solely, but also in the percentage change. There is a 31%, means people are not waiting around. Properties are basically hitting the market and being sold sometimes in hours, and which is crazy. Now, active listings. So right now, year over year, 53% drop in active listings. That is a huge drop. We are at record low inventory, and this is just not an anomaly in states like California and New York. This is happening everywhere. I want to show you an example of what's going on right now with this record low inventory and why you should pay attention. This report right here is coming from Inman News, which is a source for real estate news, and this is what it says here. Brian Evans thought his clients were going in with a strong offer. Okay, Evans, a Redfin agent in Washington, D.C. area, told Inman that he was recently working with buyers who wanted a home that was listed for $150,000. Homes in the area in the past sold for around 10% over the asking price. So they thought his clients offer $150,000 over, they would be seem like a strong enough contender. Well, they weren't. Instead, what it says here, that the home ultimately generated 14 offers and sold for a whopping $230,000 over its asking price. What seemed like a strong offer had in the end put Evans' clients in the middle of the pack, as $150,000 over the price still put them in the middle of the pack, which the winning offer brought $230,000 over its asking price. This is definitely a seller's market. So that is the reason. That's the number 1 reason, is record low inventory. Now, number 2 reason is record low interest rates. So what you're looking at right here is sort of the landscape over the last, we can actually do this. This is a really cool tool, because we can look at the interest rate, the 30-year fix right now, average on the United States. Now, you can see that it was, it's been as 3.28 back in May 2020, and it's steadily decreased, right? It went down to 2.88 and it's increased, right? And this is kind of where it's at right now. It is 2.96 Thursday, May 6, 2021. Now you think, okay, well, it doesn't look like a pretty big, change. Well, that's because we're looking at the last year. Now, what happens when you look at the last 5 years? And this is sort of the last year, and you look at the last 5 years, they were as high as 4.94 back in 18. It's only 5 years ago, back in 18. So we're looking at 3 years ago. But what happens when you look at it on the 10-year horizon? Starting to see a trend, right? But that's not the crazy part. Let's look at this. This is right here our interest rates today. This is what they were in back in 1981, 17.48. So when I bought a house in the early 2000s, my very first home after I got married was 8.24, and I thought it was a pretty good deal compared to 18%. But they have steadily come down, And how long will they be low as they are, you're asking? Well, I think it's gonna happen for at least 2 to 3 years. And the reason for that is because right now we're coming out of this pandemic. We need to stimulate the economy. The minute that the rates continue to inch higher, it's going to be less people are going to be able to qualify for a loan, which means they're going to have a higher mortgage payments, which really, the lower the mortgage payment, the more you can compete in the marketplace. So that's the number 2 reason, record low interest rates, as you can see. Number 3, you look at the ever increasing price of lumber. So let me show you what that means. So this is again another article that I thought it was telling that the added cost of a home due to the rising lumber prices of $35,000. So on top of everything else, which is record low inventory and record low interest rates, you have the third way, which is the ever increasing price of lumber. The average house now is increasing by an average of $35,000 because of the increase in lumber, but it doesn't end there. So as you can, I'll show you that in a second, but what you're looking at right now is the price per 1,000 board feet. Now, look at that, it's steadily increased from November all the way to where we are right now. It's only seemed to be getting higher. So here's what it says, that the problem in the lumber is actually twofold, right? First, the pandemic began, and lumber manufacturers gambled that the demand would go down amid the economic slump. But guess what? They were wrong. The demand for lumber actually went up, which is a little bit counterintuitive, right? So the demand was higher and the production was lower. What do you think was going to happen? Right? Less supply, higher demand, increase the price. But now there is actually something else going on, which is number 4. Number 4 reason why I think the prices will continue to steadily go higher is because there is a shortage in construction workers. Now this graph right here is very telling, right? Data from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics show that as of March 2021, there are about 7.5 million projected workers in the construction industry. Now, what was happening before, it was a steady increase to make up for the demand. And something happened right here, right? And the best way to explain it is that the good news is that today is representing an increase. So there was a dip between, December 19 and January, right? And then it steadily increased. So when it says the good news is that today's number represents an increase, right? As compared to where it was back in, so a million difference right here back from like February, March when the pandemic hit. So there was a million decrease. So the good news is that it's a little bit higher, but if you look at this, and the overall trend is definitely going in the right direction. But the bad news is that the numbers are also still lower than they were back in 2019, 2020, when the labor shortage was also acute. The long-term implication is that this trend may be greater than the short-term rising of the lumber prices. While lumber manufacturers will eventually be able to ramp up production, a very long-term labor shortage will ensure that it remains harder and slower to add new housing supply. Talk about a perfect storm, right? A more competitive labor market also means higher wages, which is great. So you want, if you're a constructor, and you're in a construction business and you're competing for employees, how are you going to get that talent? If not by offering higher wages, which is going to in turn increase the cost of producing a home, which is going to end up increasing the overall price of the house. So that is number 4. Now, but there is one more thing that I wanted to show you, which is number 5. The homeowner vacancy is the lowest it's been since 1956. And if you know anything about me, you know I love charts and graphs because I love numbers. So numbers tell the story. And what you're seeing right now is that there is a 0.9% vacancy rate. Now, what we're looking at right now is from 1950s and the 60s, when there is a higher vacancy rate, which means that there is more vacancy to go around. Which means, if it makes the prices a little more competitive as far as the rental market. But right now, there is just a short supply of, look, we're at 0.9%. Now, there's multiple trends going on, so I just wanted to show you this, and this is a very good way of explaining it. So let's take, for instance, this is the Twin Cities. Right now, this is Minneapolis and St. Paul. I want to show you this trend. So what you can see is the orange line is the physical vacancy rate, and the dotted line is the average market rent. Notice that the physical vacancy was 3%, and it's steadily going down, right? It went up, which means that there is a lesser supply of units for rental. But look at what's happening to the prices. They continue to increase, right, over time. This is another chart, the annual rent growth versus the rental vacancy rate in Minneapolis. So this is what it tells me, is that it's just lesser units to rent. Now, in the commercial real estate business, when for those investors that actually buy apartment buildings, there is something that has to be factored in, which is called the vacancy rate. Normal vacancy rate in a commercial space is about 3 to 5%. So I actually tell my clients that you need to factor a 5% vacancy rate. So that is supposed to be, because that is expected as there is turnover of units, and apartments may be vacant for a few months. So that kind of lowers the income for that unit. And 5% is a good place it's a conservative amount to have in your financial statements and your profit and loss for the commercial. So what is happening right now, that there is just not enough supply, and all this commercial developers, all these commercial apartment owners are having just about 100% occupancy. Right now there's 99% occupancy. So keep that in mind. So just to recap, record low inventory, record low interest rates, ever increasing price of lumber, shortage in construction workers, and homeowner vacancy, the lowest it's been since 1956. But guess what? Now, opportunity cost, right? The time to buy is now. Why? Because the same house you're looking at today may be more expensive next year, and if you wait 2 years, it'll be twice as it'll be more expensive in 2 years than it was today. So hopefully this will help you, and thank you so much for watching.
If you have any questions, please comment below. Also, if you're interested in getting my free mortgage calculator, please download it. The link is below, and you'll know how much property you can qualify for. If this video was helpful to you, you're really going to enjoy these next 2 videos. You need to watch them next. Also, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to hit the bell. Also, don't forget to get my free max payment mortgage calculator that tells you exactly how much house you can apply for, so you can go purchase one.